50-year mortgages, not a good idea, and I'll tell you why. So, 50-year mortgages, there's a lot to unpack when you hear that word. Originally, when you hear it, sounds great. Lower barrier to entry, extended life of the loan, so I'm going to have a lower payments. I'm going to be able to qualify for more. Sounds good, but essentially, it's not good. Basically, you are getting a product that you will likely not be able to pay in your lifetime. If the first time home buyer average age is now 40 years old, what are the chances that you're going to be able to pay it off in your lifetime? That means you're going to get intergenerational debt that you are taking on to pass down to your children or whoever. So keeping that in mind, let's talk about all the other reasons. 50-year mortgage is going to have almost double the interest of a 30-year mortgage. That's crazy. So you're basically taking on more interest, taking on a higher risk of a loan, which means it's going to have a higher interest rate. It likely will not have the same interest rate as a 30-year mortgage because the lender is taking on way more liability. So it almost cancels itself out. How much is the payment going to be? Very, very narrowly close to that 30-year mortgage because of this. So with all of that in mind, home ownership is about ownership and equity. It's about you having an asset to use however you please, whether you want to own the home free and clear, whether you want to build some equity to pull out later for home renovation, an investment, whatever you want, or you want to sell the property after a certain amount of years so that you can move into a more desirable area that you couldn't afford at the time that you bought that first home. There's a lot of things that you can do. Accruing equity on a 50-year mortgage is going to take a lot longer than a 30-year mortgage, okay? A 15 or 30, it's going to take long. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. And I have an alternative. I don't just want to bash it and not give you an alternative. And that is purchasing a new build that is offering a rate buy down or a lower fixed rate. I will tell you why. A 6% interest rate on a $500,000 house versus a 4% interest rate on a $500,000 house is around $500-$600. That's a lot of money for you to take and use however you want. A high yield savings account, investment, saving up for the maintenance on the home when it's needed after the warranty, if you want to get ahead of things, or to just save for your emergency fund, whatever you want to do. And that's something you can do right now with standing inventory because builders are offering that low rate. You don't have to wait for the Fed to lower the rate. You don't have to wait for Congress to pass the law to allow 50-year mortgages, even after you've heard the cons. It's definitely not a good idea, but if you still wanted to, you have to wait for all of that. So right now, getting a new built home with a lower interest rate that is offered by the builder is a really good idea. It's 30 years and you are coming in with a lower interest